Good evening. I am so glad you found me again tonight. We are going to make our last fall wreath. We are going to be using a 14-inch work frame wreath, and we are going to be using fall colors. We have a rust, we have a green plaid, oh yeah, we have a solid green. And then the fun part is we are going to add this sign. Pretty awesome, huh? I think it's going to be fun. Now, sometimes I use a mesh that I cut into sections. Tonight, I'm using a 21-inch roll of mesh that we don't cut. We are going to gather it and put it around our form. So it will be really exciting to see how this turns out. I am excited to see too. Let's look down and get ourselves ready. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unroll this a little. Actually, I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it on the floor. That way it unwinds for me by itself. Now I'm going to take these ends and I'm going to gather them together. It doesn't matter that they're fraying because this part will not be seen. So let me gather this like this. I'm going to take a zip tie and I'm going to wrap it around here so we can attach it to our frame. I'm going to tighten it here real tight. And then I'm going to put it right before one of these ties. And I'm going to stick it right in here like this, kind of poke it through the frame so this ugly part is out of our way. There we go. And then we are going to attach it to this frame. You found my, there they are. Take this and I'm going to just attach it to the frame, keep it out of our way. If I can get this, there we go. Pipe cleaner didn't want to cooperate. Now we're going to twist it pretty tight because we don't want it moving on us. All right, and now we're going to take our mesh that we just dropped on the floor and we're going to take the ends right here they're not going to fray, but they're very bumpy and they snag on things. So we want to just tuck that under on both sides, and then we're going to make what we call 10-inch poofs. And on these poofs, the easiest way to measure, you can measure right here on your with a ruler or with your mat to 10 inches, or you can wrap it around to the second, not the first one, but the second twist tie, and then gather it together, and that measures out to about 10 inches. We don't have to be precise. So there's our first one. We're going to put it in here. We're going to twist it 2 or 3 times because you don't want it going anywhere. Pipe cleaners hold out pretty good. Then we're going to do it again. We're going to put our ends inside so they don't snag. We're going to measure out 10 inches. We can do it this way, or we can go around to the next one that does the same thing, usually. Sometimes they don't put these on quite tight enough. All right, I'm going to twist this real tight so it doesn't go anywhere. We're going to do it again. I'm going to go around to, actually the twist tie looks like it's further away, so I don't think I'm going to go to 10 inches right here. All right, we're going to get our next twist tie ready. Get these out of the way, they're at the top. And we'll put this one on here. And we're going to tie it real tight, tighten it, twist it 2 or 3 times, And we're going to the next one. I'm going to do that all the way around the bottom. How are you guys doing this evening? I hope that everybody's healthy and safe. It looks like our COVID wants to kick up again. And that's not good. Although I heard on the news where they're working on a vaccine. That would be good if that works out. In the comments section, I would like for you to add a comment telling me what is your favorite Halloween candy. If you text me yours, I'll text you mine. All right, let me see if I've got the right one here. Here's one. Where's my other one? Where are you? I think this is it. Alright, this is the last one now on the bottom. We're going to go around and we're going to do the same thing to the top. Now to get to the top, I'm going to go straight up. Let me keep this to the side though, because I'm going to need it in a little while. Alright, I'm going to go 10 inches, and I'm going to go straight up to the top, and I'm going to go to the very next twist tie and do the same thing up there. And then we'll go all the way around the top. Then we're going to cut our ribbon. Usually I cut my ribbon before I get on here, but I thought tonight it would be better if we did this together so you can see exactly what I do. There are several ways that you can cut your mesh, and I want to show you one way you can do it that's not where you don't need any kind of tool and you don't have to constantly measure. So we'll do that together tonight. Alright, and if you notice, I'm keeping my rough ends in the inside. One, two. Alright, I'm going to go 10 inches. One of the ladies I watch, she holds it like this and she'll go 1, 2, 3, and she says that's 10 inches. So, you know, you can find your own method if you decide to try to do this. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do this. I've done it enough that I kind of have a feel for what feels like 10 inches to me. So as long as you do them all the same, if it's 10 inches or not 10 inches, I don't think it's going to make a great deal of difference as long as they're the same. Did everybody remember to put in their favorite kind of candy? You know, when you're talking about Halloween candy, that might be a little different than just your overall favorite candy. So, let's see what you guys say, and then I'll tell you what mine is. This out of here, it's wanting to stick. There we go. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Actually, I think we are at the end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take another pipe cleaner and put it in there to tie this off. cleaner in here. There we go. So now we're going to stick this last loop inside here and tie it off. Alright, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to just cut off the mesh that is left, because we're not going to need that for this one. I do save it for other things that I make. There we go. Now I'll just take this end right here and I will turn it right down inside. Nobody will ever know where that end is. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to fluff all my poofs. These are called poofs. I'm going to fluff them all, which makes everything look really, really pretty. Go around with a good fluff. And then we're going to cut our ribbon. All right, wait, there you go. Now you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but when I look at this, as I fluff it, I can see the frame underneath. But that isn't going to make a difference, because as we add the bling and stuff that we put on it, the accents, then it kind of covers up that stuff. So that's not going to make a difference. All right, I think I've been around. Now let's do the top. Here's one I think I missed. There we go. There we go. All right, one more. All right, there's our basic frame. All poofy, bouncy. Now let's put this aside and let's cut our tails. We call those tails when you put your ribbon on the edges. We have 3 colors here. Sometimes I use 1, sometimes I use 2, and sometimes I use 3. So we're going to take one of these ribbon sections here and we are going to cut. There are 18 pipe cleaners on here, and we are going to use, so we're going to cut 18 tails, and I'm going to start with the green, and I'm going to measure to 14. Here's 14. Now, when I measure 14, there are different kinds of tools you can use that you can measure with. But for those of you who don't have tools, there is another way. And rather than cutting each one just like this every single time, I take one of them and measure it the length I want, and I fold it and I crease it. Then I just count. I've got 2 on here, so this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, so I only want 8 of this color because I'm going to do 10 of the checked ones. So then I just cut this. We'll use the rest of this for our bow. So I'll cut this and I go inside where I folded it, and I'm going to just cut right here, just like that. And then I'll open this up. And where it's creased, I will cut like that. And so now I have my 10, no, what did I say? I wanted 8 of these. My 8 colors right here. All right, so that's what. Now, you have two ways to end this. Many people use the dovetail method. And that's where you fold it in half and you clip it like this. But some people also use, let me demonstrate here, some people also use the diagonal method where it looks like that. So most of the time I use the dovetail method, but not always. Alright, so I put these together. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put half of them together. Then I'm going to make sure the ends are together, fold it in half, and cut. And now I have a dovetail. And I'm going to do that to the other side. Make sure my ends are together, fold it in half, and cut. I'm going to turn off my glue gun because I don't need it right now. I hear it sizzling. There we go. Alright, so we have those. And we have these. I'm going to do the same thing to these. I lined them up, fold them in half. And when I say fold them in half, you want the edge that is folded, not the edge with the wire in it. The edge that's folded, and you're going to point the scissor tips away from you, so when you cut, it turns out as a dovetail. If you do it the other way, that's one that's crooked. If you do it the other way, you'll get a point and not a dovetail. So I'm lining them up, folding them in half, and clipping. Clip. Here we go. Alright, so now we've got the green ones done. We're going to go to the rust ones and do the very same thing. The very first one I'm going to measure at 14. Here we go, 14. I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I did 8 on the green ones. Alright, we're going to cut that off. There's enough left here for a bow. Alright, and then I'm going to find the center. Okay, I found the center between these. Stick my scissors in here and cut. Then I go down to the other end and I do the very same thing. I cut. There we go. Now I will fold these in half. Let me get 2 of them down there. I'm going to fold these. I'm lining up the ends. I'm going to fold these in half. I'm going to clip. If you notice, I cut them slowly, and it's not because it's hard to cut, it's because I don't want all those ends flying all over my room. I'm going to fold it in half at the other end. And on the folded soft edge, I'm cutting away from me, toward the camera, and cutting through the wire. There we go. And now I have a dovetail. Okay. We have 8 of those. I think I said 8, did I not? Alright. Now I've got these to do the same thing. Now, right now, what I'm thinking about is, do I want to cut the green ones or not? And I want to put them on there, but I can't decide. I want to make a bow at the end, and I have to decide. Some of these are the same size. Let me cut them down like this. I want to save enough for our bow. So there we go. All right, so now I have these cut. We have 8 of each of these. And I want to use 8 of the green ones. So maybe I will go every other one so I can do that. All right, so we're going to go 14 inches. There we go. Fold it in half. All right, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay. Now I think we have plenty of ribbon to make our bow at the end. All right. Now I'm doing the very same thing to these. Let me find my. There we go. Where they separate, so I can cut them together. And I'll do the same thing to the other end. Find out where they separate. So I can, there we are. Oops, go one more to the, no, that was an extra. There we go. Put that down there. All right. Now we're going to dovetail these, and then we're going to put them. I think I've decided, in order to have enough ribbon to put make our bow, I think I've decided I'm going to put all 3 of them together and then do it every other tie. I think that will give us all the colors that we need. Yeah, if you notice, when you're making a wreath, you have to make decisions along the way. This one's got too many wires sticking out. Another thing I need to mention while I'm cutting all this ribbon is you want to be sure that you buy, when you're buying ribbon for a wreath, that you buy wired ribbon. If you buy ribbon that's not wired, and I have, it just goes flop on you. You put them in anything and they just hang. And so if you're making a beautiful bow, you can make it just right, but if it doesn't have wire in it, it's not going to stand up very well. And I discovered that through trial and error. So the ribbon that I have now, the little bit of ribbon I still have that's unwired, I make sure that I use that sparingly and that I use it with a whole bunch of wired ribbon, so that wired ribbon supports the ribbon that does not have wire. All right, so we've cut our ribbon. There we go. There we go. Now we can insert the ribbon. Let's go ahead and do that, I guess. Okay, get my scissors out of the way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take one, oops, and 1. There we go. And we're going to line them up together. We're going to fold them in half. Whoops, make sure it's in half. Then we're going to gather it. We're going to make it look like a little bird, twisting them this way. And then we're going to stick it in one of our pipe cleaners. We're going to stick it right down in here like this. Now I've used 3, so I have to remember that when I'm fluffing, that I'm fluffing all 3 of them. All right, and I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut these pipe cleaners lower because we don't need them anymore. All right, now I'm going to take the green one, the rust one, and I'll leave that one right there. Alright, I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do, actually I'm going to go the other way, I think, just for variety. We'll go green, that plaid that way, leave the orange in the middle and the green on the edge. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to skip one and go to the next. So I'm not going to do this one. Let me cut my pipe cleaners. There we go. And I'm going to go to the next one and do the very same thing. Skip that one and go to this one. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to get a rust one, a plaid one, and a green one. I'm going to put them all together. There we go. Fold them in half to find the center. I'm going to gather them, make them look like a bird, and then I'm going to put it in my zip tie, in my pipe cleaner. I'm going to cut my pipe cleaner's stems off because I don't need them to show. And then I'm going to fluff, turn this way you can see. Then I'm going to fluff my ribbons like so. I'm going to push this one this way, leave that one in the middle, push that one that way. Alright, I haven't gotten good at showing it to you and doing it at the same time. Some of my crafter friends are able to do that. It's like doing it upside down to me. Maybe I'll get there. Now I'm going to cut off these pipe cleaner pieces that I don't need. I'm going to go to the next one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'll turn this around now so you can see. I've got plaid. I've got the orange. And I've got a green. Okay. Get my ends lined up. Fold it in half, make sure I've got them equal, gather it together, make my bird, and put them in the tie thing here. Alright, let me find that. There we go. Look at me, I'm doing it upside down for you. Actually, it's not upside down, it's backwards. Alright. I'm going to cut these pieces off that I don't need. I'm going to fluff them. One goes up, one stays in the middle, one goes down, one goes up, one stays in the middle, one goes down, and I fluff them, and I go to the next one. And I don't, let's see, we've got one there. Alright, let me see. Maybe I will go. Let's see. Let's see how this works. 1, 2, 3. Gonna line them up. I don't know why that one's shorter, but it is. Fold it in half. Gather it. Make my bird. And stick it in here. Cut off my, oops, I didn't show it to you, did I? Sorry. Cut off my excess. Fluff my bows. Do green plaid, green in the middle, orange rust up, rust down, green in the middle, rust up. Flip them a little bit. They want to curl the wrong way. There we go. See what I'm doing to these ribbons? I can do that because they're wired. If you had regular ribbon, you could not do that. All right, now we're going to the middle. Whoops. Now we're going to the middle, doing the very same thing. Got orange, plaid, and green. I'm going to line them up, fold them in half, gather it together, make my bird, and put it in my tie. Well, where's the other one? Oh, here it is. It's hiding from me. Two, three. Cut off the extra. Why don't you want to cut? There we go. Alright, then I'm going to fluff my bows. I pull on them to separate them. Pull on them to separate them. There we go. We'll go to the next one. Green, rust, plaid. Line them up, fold them in half, just make sure you find your center, gather them together, make your bird, and put it in your there you go, put it in your tie. 1, 2, 3. And cut off the extra. Now I wouldn't be cutting off the extra if I was going to put something else in here, but I have nothing else that's going to go in this particular part. That's why I'm cutting off the extra, because I just don't want it to show. Some people curl it, take a pencil or something and curl it. Alright, there's that part. There's part. Alright, let's see. I think we have one right here. How many more do we have left? One, and one. Alright, we'll fold. Whoops, I guess I better line it up better. Fold it in half, gather it together, make my bird, and stick it in my tie. Which tie do I want to use? Here's one. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Cut off the extra. Alright, and then I'm going to, oops, came undone. 1, must not have pulled tight enough. 2, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to fluff it, pull and separate. That's why you kind of have to tie it, do it kind of tight, because you want to be able to separate. Okay? Now let's see. I have one left, and I saw a place that looked like it needed one. I think I'll put it right here. Yeah, I'm going to put it right here. 1, 2, and 3. Line them up. Fold them in half. Gather it together. Make my bird. The reason you make that bird is to keep them bended before you put them in there. It just makes it easier to fluff them when you put it down in here. Alright, I'm putting it on this side because on the other side is where my bow is going to go, so we don't need one over there. One, two, three. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to fluff this one, and we're through with the ribbons. There we go. All right, there we go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our sign on. We have this sign that says, Happy Harvest. Happy Harvest. So we're going to take this sign and we're going to put it on. Now let me tell you, this is why I had my glue gun on. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. That's on. On the back, I have already added the, you can probably see them. I've already added the, these are cable ties that you stick them. They have stickies. You pull the back off and you stick it on here. You take those holders and you stick your pipe cleaner through it so you can run these down into the mesh and tie them onto the frame. So that's why we have these on here. There's 4 of them because it's a pretty big sign. Now, what I do when I make this is I take my glue gun, and I hope it's going to work for me because I had turned it off. I take my glue gun and I put just a little bit of glue on the side here, on both sides. Not all 4, just 2 of them. Alright. And I do that for extra security. In case in the heat it dries up, I have something else that's holding it. So if the glue doesn't stick, then the sticker will, and if the sticker doesn't stick, then the glue should. So it's just kind of an extra for, there you go, just something a little extra that holds it. Now, while we're letting this dry a little bit, I'm going to go to our ribbon, and we're going to make our bow. Okay, so let me put this over here to dry. It doesn't take very long to dry. By the time we get our ribbon done, it will be fine. Let me put this here and then put this on top of it. There we go. All right, now we're going to take our ribbon. We are going to start with our green ribbon here. And sometimes I use a bow maker. Sometimes I don't. I'm getting better at making bows with my hands, and it's a little tricky at first, at least for me, but I'm working on it. So first of all, you measure out your tails. I'll tell you now that you hold it in your hand, and as you make each bow, you're holding it with the crease of your thumb, not with your thumb. You're not trying to make your hand tired. So watch how I do this. I'm going to take, I think I'm going to make, let's make 10-inch tails. So I measure 10 inches on my board. I'm going to crinkle that up, twist it, and put that in the crease of my hand, like that. Then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to measure. I want a 6-inch bow, and so I'm going to measure 12 inches. Where's my 12? Right here. I'm going to measure 12 inches, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to stick it in my thumb there area. I'm going to twist it, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to measure again. I'm going to measure 12 inches. Gather this up, fold it in half, stick it under my finger, twist it, and do it again. I'm going to do, let me see how much ribbon I have left because I want to make sure we get a good one. Let's do 5 on this one. Let's see, that would be 10. Let's find 10. I'm Do 10, stick it here. I'm going to twist it and do 10 again. Right here. Gather that together, fold that here, and now I have this, all of this in my hand. I have the 2 ties. I'll trim those after we're all finished. I've got my bow, just like this, and my thumb is holding it. So now I'm going to take my plaid ribbon, and I'm going to do the very same thing. I'm going to measure, what did I do, 10? I do 10 inches, gather it up, twist it, stick it in under my thumb, let's see, I want to twist it this way. Alright, now I'm going to do 10 inches, 10, 10, 10, here you are. Gather it up, fold it in half, twist it. And the reason I twist it, well, for one thing, it gives it more security. The other reason I twist it is, let me turn my glue gun off. There we go. The reason I twist it is so the right color is going to be on the top. So it looks like it's going to be on the bottom, but watch. When I measure this and I fold this in, look at there. It is now on the right color. Okay? So now I'm going to twist it for the same reason. I'm going to do 10, gather it together, put it under my thumb. There we have it. Alright, and let's see. I think I'll do one more twist. Let's see. Do 10. You know, you don't always have to have a balance. Like if you notice what I'm doing here, I have 2 on this side and only 1 on this side, and there's no problem with that. No problem. Alright, our last one we're going to take is going to be our orange or our rust. And we're going to take this one to 10 inches, gather, twist it, stick it in my thumb, go down here and measure 10 inches, gather, bend it, twist it, 10 inches, gather, bend it, twist it. All right, get yourself in there, buddy. 10 inches, gather, bend it, twist it, 10 inches. Here's my 10. Here it is. Bend it. See if I'm going to have, nope, not going to have enough, so we'll do just 2 on that side. All right, don't think we're going to have, let's check. We might have enough, let's look. Ha, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to get me a zip tie. I forgot to get that ready. Hang on one second. All right, there, got it. I'm going to take a zip tie, and I'm going to put it around all of this to hold it real snug. Now I got to let this go gently because I want to make sure it doesn't fall apart while I'm trying to get my zip tie together. Okay. Now, while that happens, I didn't do it tightly because I'm going to take another zip tie and I'm going to put it, make sure I put it in right, yep. I'm going to put it back here in the back. So this is the part that I will attach. Get my finger out of the way. This is the part that I will attach to the frame of the wreath. So now I can go ahead and tighten the rest of this because I've got my zip tie in there. I'm going to pull as tight as I can because I don't want it going anywhere. All right. So now it looks like a hot mess, doesn't it? Well, you just wait because we're going to fix that. I'm going to, see, my thumb was here, so this is the way the bow is going to be laying. So I want to take my ribbons and I want to fluff them this way. I want to take this bow, this streamer, and put it down here. Take this one and put it down here. Take this one and move it down there. Got one here. Got one here. I'm lining my there we go. And now I can fluff up my ribbon, and you fluff it up better once you get it on your wreath, but we won't worry with that right this second. We'll just get it basically fluffed. Get all of our, now I'm going to dovetail my ribbon ends, only because I did that on my tails. Remember, you cut from the folded soft edge. All right, did I get everyone cut? Everybody happy? All right, there we go. We've got our bow. It's looking pretty good, huh? All right, so now we're going to put this bow on our wreath. And now we have to decide, do we want to put the bow on now, or do we want to put the sign on next? And I think I want to put the sign on next because that will help me know where I want to put the bow. So now we have to make a decision. Let me move the bow. Now we have to make a decision. Where do we want to put the sign? We can put it right smack in the center, and we could put our bow at the end. We could put the bow on the side. We could put this to the one side and put the bow over here. We could put this here and put the bow down there. Now, there's all kinds of decisions you have to make, and what might look good to you may not look good to as good to someone else. So I'm thinking maybe we'll put the sign over here, and we'll put our bow up here. All right, so now this is easy. All you have to do is take the pieces that you already put on here. You're going to run them down through the, let me get my hand in under here, right down through the mesh into the frame, onto the frame, and twist it on. Now, you don't twist it on very tight right away, because what happens if you get it on there nice and secure, just like you want it, and then after you add all the others, you realize, oh, it's crooked, or, you know, that's not where I wanted it. So you just wrap it, I'm trying to find the, so you just wrap it around there one or two times to get it gentle. So it's easy to take out if you decide you want to move it. Alright, so I'm going to just wrap it the one time. Now you notice I didn't pull that very tight because I don't want to smush my mesh. I want to keep it loose. So I'm going to take this one and wrap him over here. Get him down through this mesh. Alright, where are you? There you are. Now I'm not going to pull it very tight. I think that's good enough. Now if you noticed, when I wrapped this, I decided that I was going to do diagonal corners. And there's a reason for that. When you put it on diagonal corners, you are securing it to keep it, to stay in place the way you want it. If I had done like the two on the same side, it wouldn't have stayed where I wanted it to stay. because these are just support corners. These two are your positioning corners. So I'm going to take this now and I'm going to run it down here, and I'm going to just secure it. But I'm not going to pull tight because I don't want this to pull into my mesh, but I don't want it going anywhere. So I'm going to wrap this around the wire down here. There we go. And this one I'm going to wrap all the way because I'm sure this is where I want it. And the other one I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure this is where I want it. I'm going to run it down through my mesh. If I can find my finger. Ah, there it is. All right. All I'm doing is I'm going down here and pulling it through the bottom. And then I'm wrapping it on the frame, the metal frame at the bottom. There we go. All right. It's not going anywhere. I've got it on there just like I want it. Right now it looks like this. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Now we have to put our bow on. And now that I have this on here, and I had decided before we did that where I wanted everything, all I have to do now is to just secure the bow. And we're going to put this bow over here where it's not going to cover much of our sign, but it still makes it look attractive. Let me find okay. Let me figure out how to get this, my fingers through this one. Chunky little fingers. Oh, got that finger in there. Now I gotta get the other one. Now it looks like I'm pulling it tight, but I'm not. I'm just getting it so I can get it in there, and then it won't be so tight. Here we go. All right, and now we've got that part in. We're going to fluff it. We're going to take our fingers and put them inside and open our fingers up and move them around. That's the way you kind of fluff these wired bows. Please, please pay attention to whether or not your ribbon has wire in it. It makes a huge difference if the ribbon is not wired. So you want to make sure that you have wired ribbon. And I do believe we have finished. Here's a bow I need to fluff. All right. Now I'm going to stand sideways so you can look at this and see our finished product. You want to change cameras? And that is what we have. Let me see if I can get the right way. Look at that. Turn it. There we go. It's hard working with the camera. And that's what we have made tonight. I thank you so much for joining me. It has been such a pleasure. I enjoy doing this more than you can know, and I certainly appreciate your support. I love it when you come join me. I love it when you are part of what I do. Today I went in and I ordered some materials to create a Christmas kit where you can order the kit, and I will give you a date. Once the kit is in my Etsy shop, I will let you know, and I will give you a date as to when I will make that online on a video, so you can make it with me. So I'll put it on there, and I'll give maybe 3 weeks for it to be on there, and then I'll give you a date so we can make the wreath together if you choose. And so I think that would be really fun when I give you a step, and I'll pause so you have time to do what I've said we're going to do, and that way, because it'll be a little faster for me, so I've done it so much. But I will give you plenty of time, and we'll have someone reading the comments, so if you need me to slow down or say it again, I can do that. And so I think that'll be really fun. I'm really looking forward to doing that together. So until next time we're going to be making bows. I'm going to show you several different kinds of bows you can make. Until next time, I'll see you again. Be safe. I love you. Bye.